Hello. You may be thinking to yourself, Ingrid, you look different. And you're right. And there's two reasons behind it. First, I'm wearing the wrong eyebrow color. Second, I got my hair done and my girl, she just, bless her heart, she cares more than I do. And so she goes in and does these little extra tweaks and makes it look really, really cute. So anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about this fun thing I had an idea to do for a video. Bobbi Brown, famous makeup artist, had this article that I read recently and came up on my Pinterest, all right, an AARP magazine about how to change your makeup style when you are over 50. I am not over 50 yet, but I am almost 48. And I thought, you know, I wonder how different her tips really would be from what I normally do. So I read through the article, and a lot of them seem like basic common sense things that we are probably all out there doing anyway, like skincare and prep work. So I thought maybe it would be kind of fun if we did half of my face Bobbi Brown's way and the other half my way. And I want to see, using the same products on both sides, same sort of method that I would normally do on my side, and then her method on the other side. Did I just divide my face into my face and okay, you get the idea what I'm saying. Let's see what this looks like and get into it if you're interested. Face is clean, completely fresh. So now I've got that out of the way. We're gonna start doing the skin prep. So one of the first things that she mentions that makes total sense to me is about how your skin texture changes as you age and the dryness that we all start to deal with. So what her recommendation is that you take a lightweight moisturizer. So I, speaking of Bobbi Brown, am using her face base here, which is a wonderful light cream. And I'm going all over like I would normally do. If you're not already doing this, you should be bringing your face creams down your neck, because that area, like, you're gonna wake up someday and your neck is gonna be all turkified out. And then she goes on top of, this is a step that's different from what I normally do. So this side is gonna be her side and this is gonna be what I normally do. So I'm just keeping this lotion, but she recommends going over the lightweight moisturizer with either like a richer, denser moisturizer or an oil. She uses apricot oil, and I see your apricot oil and I raise you rose oil. This is the Milani Prep and Brighten Rose Oil, and I've used this before in videos around my hairline where I get dry, specifically in the colder weather. She says she applies it on her cheeks and other areas where she gets dry, and she likes a denser oil. I've never used apricot oil, so I don't know. Maybe that's a dense oil, but that's fine. So I'm just dabbing it into the area on my cheek where I have some rosacea, and I do get a little bit of dryness there and on, like, along my hairline. The next thing she talks about is dry, crepey skin under your eyes and the texture that starts to develop there. So she says that one of the most important things to do is use a corrector and a concealer. And I don't normally use either of those. I do have some though, and the one I have is actually the Becca. This is the brightening and correcting under eye cream. This has a little bit of a pink tone to it. You can see. It's almost good. That's a very thick section, but let's see how this goes on underneath the eye. So this is supposed to help kind of cancel out some of the discoloration. And I think I put way too much on. It looks almost white in the camera, but I think that's just the light reflecting off of it. Okay, so corrected. Not corrected. Yeah, I see a lot of brightness coming out from that. And then she says to go over it with a shade of concealer that's lighter than your skin tone, or what does she say? Apply concealer on top of it that's one shade lighter than your face makeup or skin tone. Okay, so I'm going in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Mine is in the shade Light Ivory. It's quite a bit lighter than my skin tone right now. And I'm just gonna go in with a little tiny dab of it there and on the outer corner. Do not do any kind of triangle business like you see young women doing all over the internet. It is too much product for us at this age. You could use a brush to apply these products, but I just like to tap with the finger because I think the warmth from your skin kind of helps it melt in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Corrected and concealed. Nothing. Moisturized. Do I see a difference in my close-up mirror here? Maybe a little bit. This side definitely looks a little brighter, a little more of a sheen to the skin. The ring light is providing a very unflattering reflection. It's not white in reality like it kind of looks like in the camera. Okay, Bobbi, what are we doing next? Brows. Brows before like your complexion, your foundation and stuff? That's what Bobbi says. She should know. Okay, so she says that one product isn't enough at this age, that you need to do a combination of products, and she recommends using a brow pencil, not a too waxy one or anything. So I'm just going to go in with my Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim. This is my go-to, and I'm going to do this on both sides here. Okay, so I've got the Maybelline Ultra Slim brow pencil going on both eyebrows, and on this side we're going to do the extra step that Bobbi recommends, and that is to take an eyeshadow. I've got my Wet n Wild Always Naked palette. She says to take an eyeshadow that matches your brow color, go in with a angled brush. So in that Wet n Wild palette, I'm going to take this kind of really light taupey brown there. See what that'll do for me. And then she says you just take it in kind of like feather-like strokes to help fill in what you just did with the pencil. Oh, almost went in a different color. She says to be careful that you use a matte color for this. You don't want to accidentally go in there and with some shimmer shade. Or maybe you do. I don't know. That might look cool. You see much of a difference? Maybe a little darker? Okay. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure I'm getting enough out of it for it to be worth the extra step. But again, we are only doing it on that side so we can have the difference show up. What's next? Foundation. And she suggests for a woman of my age to use a tinted moisturizer. So I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. Mine is in the shade, I believe, medium. Yep, medium tan. And some of this all over, because I would use this all over. And then we'll talk about what she has you do on the more advanced side. I'm just going to take a good squeeze here. Almost out. Let's see what just a little bit more gets me. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be too much. That's how much I'm going in with. And I will just spread this around on my hands and apply. Probably should have pulled my hair up. Might still do that. I just got to see about changing the light because on my ring light, because I can adjust like if it's warm or a cool light, and I just feel like it's really washing me out. I used to like tinted moisturizers in my teens so much, and they actually really weren't much of a thing. I kind of just made my own, and I've talked about doing this before, and I do still do this lots of times, where I will take whatever foundation I'm using, whatever matches my skin tone at the time, and just mix in half of that, half my moisturizer, and there I am with my own tinted moisturizer, and that works out pretty good. I need to get my hair off my face. Okay, that's better. And now that my hair's off my face, I'm seeing the plant in the background. Do you guys know about this, where you take a branch from a tree, and then you take one of your houseplants and you put the branch in the pot, and then you start winding the plant up the tree. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you as much as I can. can't show you very much because the branch is too tall. Anyway, I'm hoping it's going to do okay. It's a new project, I guess, that I started here recently and I wanted to have behind me. And I don't know if it's getting enough sun. Anywho, okay, moving on. So the next step, she says, as far as foundation goes, is to go in with a stick foundation over your areas where you need more coverage. So the tinted moisturizer obviously doesn't provide a whole lot of coverage. And if you have areas where you need a little more, then you go in with the stick foundation. The stick foundation that I have does not match my skin tone at all right now. So if you have a balm foundation, those are very similar to stick foundations. They all have that kind of balmy type feel. So I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal Age Perfect Tinted Balm, the 4-in-1. Have you guys used this one yet? I've only had this a couple of weeks, and I don't know. I liked it by the end of the day. See, it does go on nice and creamy. I liked it by the end of the day, but I don't want to have to wait all day to like the way that my foundation looks. I mean, am I crazy? It just went on really kind of, I felt like greasy. I hate to say that word, but it was a little like that, yeah. All right, so those are basically the areas I need like a little more help. So let's see what this does over the tinted moisturizer. So you could go in with a sponge and dab that in. You could dab it in with your fingertips, but I'm just gonna use a brush. This is Pro Stippling brush from, is it Sephora? Yeah, Sephora. Good grief. Oh, I just realized I did this over this side that I shouldn't be doing that over. I'm gonna kind of wipe that away. Oh boy, here I was thinking, how is this gonna look different? And then it occurred to me, it's not going to, stupid, because you put it on both sides there. It's wiped away though, okay? It's gone, calm down. There's a little more coverage, but I don't know that it did much. Let me hit it with just a little bit more, because Bobbi knows more than I do, and I'm trying to do right by her. I'm just gonna stick this like right in there. This is probably a mistake, but here we go. Oh God, that's a lot. Okay. Yeah. Well, we want to have our coverage, that's for sure. Spread some of that around here. All right. Don't let me touch these things anymore. What's next, Bobbi? Okay, so the next thing she's talking about is your eyes themselves. And she recommends sticking with a matte shadow and going in initially with either a bone, kind of a bone shade, or something that is close to your skin tone. So with my Wet n Wild palette, I'm still using that. I'm gonna go back in with this one, and I'm going to kind of mix it a little bit with the one below it to get a little bit more natural flesh tone for me. And we'll go over the whole eye from the lash line up to the brow bone with that. And I would do this regularly as well. I would do this on my own. I don't need Bobbi Brown to tell me to do this. Okay, so I'm doing that on both sides. Putting on a nice neutral shade like this over your entire eye area helps to kind of neutralize any discoloration from, like for me, veins. I have thin skin on my face and the veins show through. So this gives me a nice neutral palette to start doing any other kind of color on. And for if you have redness, it's going to help cancel that out. So this is a good trick to use for no matter what. Now, Bobbi says to go in with a medium shadow tone that's one shade darker than your skin tone from the lash line to the crease, and then just blend. So let's see. And this is a Makeup Geek brush, and I'm gonna go in one shade darker than my skin tone. This may be a little 2 shades, but I'm gonna go in with this one right here. And start it all over the lid. Now, I would normally just do this in my crease and blend up, so this will be different on my right eye versus my left eye. But this is the Bobbi eye. Just to go up to the crease and then just kind of blend. And I'm going to take the brush that I used to apply that kind of basic color that I laid down first and blend it out with that. That's very nice, very simple. And what I would normally do on my own, on this side, I would just go in the crease with this and just do that typical V that we all do, right? The V at the edge and smoke it out a little bit. Hers is definitely simpler. Okay, and then I would take, and I'm only doing this on my side, and then I would take the shade below that and just barely put a little bit in the corner and blend that out up into what I just put into the crease. And that's it. And then I would take the lightest color and I would just dab a little on like the inner corner and diffuse that out into the rest of the eyelid. So I have some contrast. But I do very much like what she's done as well. The next thing she talks about is eyeliner. Bobbi says that lining halfway across, like starting in the center and then just going to the edge, is a mistake. She says that it makes your eyelids look smaller. So if you have hooded eyes or saggy eyes, she emphasizes that you really want to go from the inner corner all the way to the outer edge. And I do have hooded eyes, so that's something I do anyway. But maybe, since the point of this video is to show a difference, I think on my side, I will just do halfway over, just so we can see what that difference looks like. I have pretty sensitive eyes, and the other day I tried tight lining, where you take like a pencil liner and you go on the inner part of the upper eyelid, and I guess I thought I'd done that before and I hadn't. So I was playing around with that and I did that on both eyes and my eyes burned all day, and I'm not sure if it's because of that or I was just having a bad eyeball day or what, but I will never do that again. I do not like the way that looks. If you're doing this with only lining, you know, like half of your eye, stop it. Oh, as far as mascara goes, Bobbi says to add 2 to 3 coats of a black thickening mascara to finish. So it just so happens I had an extra like these luxe sample sizes of the Sephora Lash Craft in my drawer downstairs. So I wanted to have this up here so I could keep it in here. And this is a awesome mascara. I don't know why this doesn't get more attention. This is the Big Volume, right? Yeah, Big Volume Lash Craft. There's the wand. This is one of my favorites. I'm not a fan of the order that she's telling me to do things in here. And maybe it's just the way the interviewer wrote the article and set up the questions and they don't know how, like what order you should do things in. But I'm sitting here looking at my flushed out, washed out face. I'm like, I need some blush. It was coming next, but bruh. Okay, so that's 1 coat, 2 coats. Am I a mess? Not hardly at all. Okay. So then she talks about blush, and she says that a cream blush is a great way to go. She says a cream formula is better for dry skin because it doesn't settle into your fine lines. I'm not a huge cream blush fan, but I do have this one from the Honest Company. This is Rose Pink. It's all right. I can utilize it, and I go in with the bottom of a sponge for application of it. And then she says that since our apples, the apples of the cheek where we usually apply a little blush, kind of tend to fall as we get older, that we should smile and apply the blush on the apples. So, so there's my apple. I'm gonna bring it up just a little bit. She doesn't have anything in this article about using bronzer or any kind of contour, and I normally would, But I thought since it's not in the article, I'm not going to introduce it to my face because I feel like that unfairly affects the way things look at the end. Okay, so cream blush. No blush. I feel like with cream blush, I have to do a couple of layers of it. And then it looks too much. So I'm going to simmer that down just a little bit there because I feel like I got too much on. Then she says to go over it with a brighter blush to really make it pop. So I'm going to use my CoverGirl Classic Color blush in Soft Pink. It's a little bit brighter. And I'm going to hit just a little bit in that apple area to make it pop. Does that pop? Okay. And then I'm going to take the same blush and just do what I would normally do for blush on the my side. Apparently I'm not smiling right because this already looks better than my routine. Oh my gosh, I have to like resist this urge to want to go in there with the sponge. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. The next thing she talks about is radiance, and she likes to go in with that apricot kernel oil business, like where I used the rose oil and like dab it, like just rub it in your hands and then dab it all over the face. I don't want to do that. I'm nervous about that. I feel like that would really just destroy everything that I've just done. So I'm going to go in with some of the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Primer, and this is in the shade number 1. She says that you can also apply a luminizer product high on the cheekbones over blush for even more glow. So we're going to do this instead of going over it with oil, because Bobbi says we could. And this is something I would normally use too. I like to use this as a highlighter. So there we are, just a little bit, and I'm just going to tap it in with my fingertips. My mom always says that your hands are your best tools you can have in the kitchen, and I think that it counts for putting on makeup too, and skincare. Okay, like it. What's next, Bobbi? All right, the next and last thing she talks about is lipstick. She says the lipstick thing is really based on like a personal choice. So if you're into neutrals, if you're into reds, rose colors, and anything that you can pull off, go for it. But she says that even if you have a day where you're not putting on a lot of makeup, as long as you can pull that lipstick color off without other makeup, you are good to go. So one of my favorites is the Too Faced, and this is from their Peach collection. It's called Sex on the Peach, and it is a really pretty kind of a nude peachy shade. But it's matte, and I'm not a huge matte fan, so I always hit it with a little gloss. I'm going over it with the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. Mine is the shade number 9 Topaz, so I'll go over it with that. Give myself a little shine. Just a little, because I'm not trying to overpower the lip color. And that's it. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer. So here we go. This is the finished look. The Bobbi Brown side. Ingrid, get your shit together side. Professional. Looks nice. Looks not as nice. I guess Bobbi's right. I like this look. And mostly I feel like a lot of it is centered around the blush. So I like the layering. Maybe that's how I can start utilizing more of my cream blushes and liquid blush products, is by layering with something over it that gives a little bit more of a pop. I would normally finish with a setting spray, but she doesn't talk about those, so I'm not going to do that today. But look, there's my plant that's trying. Prayers for the plant, please. I guess that's basically it today. If you guys stuck around for the whole video, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share. Please leave a comment. You know who doesn't leave comments? You guys. And I love you for it, because I don't really have much to say to other YouTubers either, but wow, YouTube really loves it. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.